If Shiba breaks the top 10, if Shiba leapfrogs Dogecoin and breaks the top 10, I believe it has a potential to get the interest of institutional money. And if that happens, this period here between institutional money and FOMO, that's where you're going to see the most explosive growth. Welcome back, YouTube. So I've gotten a lot of questions about what's going on with Shiba and where is it exactly in the cycle, and what happens if Shiba leapfrogs Dogecoin in the top 10, or if Shiba just breaks the top 10 in general. What exactly happens and what does that mean for the market, and also why some of the other cryptos are down and why Shiba is seemingly unstoppable and just continuing to rally. So I'm going to answer some of those questions and give my opinions, and also go over the cycle and let you know where I believe Shiba is right now. So to start, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to bring up the wealth flow chart that I created. And I made some changes to input Shiba and let you kind of know where we are in the cycle, and let you know the potential for upside that we are in right now. So hopefully you should be able to see the screen here. So right down here, you'll have Shiba that's going to be your early innovators. That's going to be the people that's buying in at the ground floor. That's before it really has a community. This is going to be like devs and people that are just really adventurous as far as for their investments and for things that don't really have a catalyst yet coming out of the gate. And then you're going to have your catalyst, which is going to be still your early investors, really early, but this is going to be your catalyst to grow your foundation and to pretty much get the word out there. It's going to be a lot to do with like marketing and lay the foundation for a lot of your initial recruit. So here I have of course, the original one was the Dogecoin killer slogan. And then we recently had like the Elon one, as far as for saying that Elon was backing Shiba. And then of course the burn catalyst as well, saying that we're going to get that overall market supply down. And of course that will increase the value of the remaining coins. And of course, that's going to make it more attractive for the people that were able to get in before they were able to burn those coins and take on large positions. So of course, they can capitalize kind of two ways: from the supply in general coming down, and also from the new money that's rushing in to get positions as well. So you can consider that a incentive to invest relatively quickly. And I believe that's also playing a big part. And then of course, this is going to attract your initial retail, which is, I believe we're somewhere in here right now when it comes to Shiba. And if Shiba breaks the top 10, if Shiba leapfrogs Dogecoin and breaks the top 10, I believe it has a potential to get the interest of institutional money. And if that happens, this period here between institutional money and FOMO, that's where you're going to see the most explosive growth. This period right here with institutional money and FOMO, this is where you start seeing crazy amounts of growth, because the amount of money that institutions can pump in, they don't necessarily care. Institutions have their favorite, like Bitcoin and Ethereum. The other ones, they certainly like pump and dump and move money around. But if you have a position early on and you're down here with Shiba and the initial catalyst, and Shiba breaks its way into the top 10, and you have the institutional money come in, you're going to see something explosive like what we saw with Dogecoin's rally from like 5 cents or 10 cents to 72 cents. You're going to see those types of returns. Like when Dogecoin was, I think it did like 11,000% this year. You're going to see something explosive like that. But just keep in mind that after that initial explosion, you're going to see something like it's guaranteed they're going to take profits, because again, they're not long-term in these positions. And after you see that kind of money injected, they're typically going to take profits, even if it's just to hedge themselves. So then you'll see a correction, and then it'll consolidate around some of the points that it's hesitating at now. We'll start seeing double bottoms and stuff like that, and build up a resistance at some point. And then the cycle will repeat itself. And of course, just in general, typically after each cycle, based on history, it typically trends upwards. And that's the point of this arrow here. So, and after the correction, you'll see retail come back in. You'll see it'll have the consolidation point. Institutional money will reinvest. Of course, it'll shoot up again, FOMO, then a correction. But each time, just as any other crypto, it typically trends higher each time. So with this being said, it's possible that you may not see these price points again on Shiba. You have to remember that a correction is not necessarily a crash. So even if Shiba has some pullbacks here, without that major catalyst as far as for institutional money coming in, and we're seeing like a really, really big boom, that's all retail. And every coin, every group or following has like their loyal followers, whether that's Shiba or Bitcoin or Doge. I mean, even in stocks, Apple, like they have like a cult following. I have so many Apple products, it's ridiculous. So you're going to have people here, and that's going to be the really strong floors to support the coin as far as for incorrections or consolidation periods. So I'm going to stop sharing here. And another thing is I wanted to kind of put this out there as far as for why is Shiba rallying right now. Shiba, as far as for crypto in general, is trending worldwide. Like we're seeing the type of growth here as far as for when is Shiba going to get listed on Robinhood? How do I buy Shiba? And this is trending in multiple countries. And even if you look on websites like Coinbase, you'll see that we're almost at a 90% buy when it comes to Shiba. So this is explosive growth. People are buying and holding. It's not necessarily like they're switching even through this, because everyone's trying to get on now and see how high this can go. So when you have a coin that's trending worldwide as far as for search and has a almost 90% retention rate, you're going to see higher margins and see profits as far as for rising overall. So this is going to be a major catalyst as far as for pushing Shiba forward. Now, if Shiba does have the ability to break the top 10, I do believe that it will gain the interest of institutions, and that's where you're going to see even more explosive growth from where you are now. If they have a consolidation beforehand, it's not necessarily the end of it, or that doesn't mean that's a pump and dump, but it does mean that they're building up pretty much a higher floor, and we'll see where it consolidates at. But if they break into the top 10 based off of history, typically that top 10 gets the most amount of money invested by institutions. And at that point, you're able to pretty much have like a very strong rise and fall. Typically that's, you can usually gauge by Bitcoin, the amount of money being dumped into like the top 3. So if it breaks into that top 10, that makes it a really strong case that you're going to see a lot of money flow into it from institutions in the next bull run. Again, I believe that I believe everyone should, and you can certainly hold multiple cryptos. I'm not here to, I have my favorites, and I'm not here to kind of advise you against one or the other. I have my opinions, but as always, this is not financial advice. This is always your decision. But just keep in mind that when you see these type of plays, and as far as for coins that are doing several 100%, always have your strategy in mind as far as for how long are you going to be there? Are you long-term or short-term? Are you waiting for utility, or is this just a certain percentage? And make sure you stick to those numbers. Don't let catalyst or YouTubers or anything try and like convince you to hold past your goals, because at the end of the day, everyone that invests at some point will take profits. So like, it's not necessarily, these cryptos aren't paying dividends. They aren't, it's not like a residual form of cash flow or anything. So at some point, whether it's the retail or the institutions, they're going to take profit. So just keep that in mind and don't be afraid to do so. So I hope this answers some of the questions. I'll probably go live and talk about this as well, but if you have any questions, just put it in the comment section and I'll answer as many as possible. Thank you, and until next time.